Hey everyone, John here. So today's video is going to give you a brief background of where I was when I decided to make the transition into living life. So where it starts is back in 2012 I became a police officer. I loved that for 4 years. And then after that 4 years, I had met my best friend in doing this job, and he and I worked together there at the police department. And the first 4 years were great. The second 2 years, the last half the last third of, it was a 6-year career. So the last third of this career, I started transitioning into realizing that there was more to life than $23 an hour, 60-hour work weeks, miserableness, dealing with constant negativity, constant people at their worst. It was a nightmare. So I watched my best friend slowly develop into a more well-rounded individual. He ended up leaving the police department and going into a sales career where he is now able to help people better their financial futures, and that's huge to me. So watching him leave and how happy he was when he left, it made me miserable inside, not because he was happy, but because I still wasn't happy. I saw my best friend take a chance on himself and become the happiest version that he's been in a long time. And I knew deep down in my heart I could do that too. I didn't want to just be that guy that sat in a police car, butted up to another cop saying, one day, if this, then I'm gonna, blah, blah. That's not who I am. I'm an action taker. I've always been an action taker. I've always been a risk taker. So watching him leave showed me the door to leave, essentially. And I made the transition out of law enforcement after 6 years. I went into a sales career. And I gotta tell you, I was shit at phone sales. I was not good at convincing somebody that now was the time to buy this luxury item that may or may not help your health. So I left. Not by choice, mind you. I also don't quit. I will constantly strive to be better. Even in that environment, which was so uncomfortable, I would compare it to basic training when I was in the Army 12 years ago. When I joined the Army 12 years ago, I went through basic training. It was miserable. They broke me down to build me back up. This place, the sales position, was so miserable, I would compare it to basic training. It was exhausting, emotionally, mentally, physically, demanding and exhausting. And when I got fired, I felt the biggest sigh of relief, the biggest aha moment, if you will. It was so amazing to have this moment in my life, this realization that fuck this. I'm done working to make somebody else rich. So, if you're like me and you're super passionate about what you want to do with your life, just continue to follow this channel, continue to follow me. I'll bring you more stories about law enforcement and that decision, the slow decision making into leaving a career, a safe and secure career, even though it was cop work, into sales, and then how miserable that sales was based on my weaknesses and my strengths, and how it just didn't work out for me. And I'll tell stories as we travel, and we're gonna go see the world. So I'm working on the house now, getting it all ready to get on the market by the end of the month. We're gonna be traveling before you know it.